Hey guys, welcome to another quick layout. This one I've sped up because it is super simple and I just wanted to make it, it's all black and white. The whole thing is black and white. Okay, it's not would you class this as monochromatic? I don't think you would. I don't know. This is my giant tub of scraps, by the way. Yes, I know it's embarrassing. That tub has been going for years and years and years. So I have two photos that I want to scrap of my 14-year-old being an absolute lunatic. Absolutely. She's hooked up in her sister's chin-up giant rubber bands that she has. And she's put her arms through it and she's just being silly. So I literally said to her, I have no words for you. I was laughing. It was in jest. But honestly, it gave me a bit of a tongue-in-cheek opportunity to use some supplies that I've been sitting on and hoarding because I wanted them in my collection for so long and I got them, but I don't use them. Go figure. This is what I keep saying, guys. Use your supplies. Don't sit on them forever. So today I decided I'm going to do a play on words saying I have no words and I'm going to do the entire layout using words. All appropriate words, nothing inappropriate. What have I pulled out? Okay, so I do have there in front of me, I have the Dear Lizzy accent phrase stickers. I've been using those periodically over time. These are so old. Okay, I don't know if you can still get those. The HEIDI SWAPP MINC stickers. I do have those there, but I didn't end up using them because they were black and not white. And as I was building this, I realized that white with black writing was going to work. That's where my brain was going. So the black with white writing didn't really work. Now, I also am using the HOLTZ Chit Chat stickers and the HOLTZ Big Chat stickers. The reason I decided that I would do this with my HOLTZ stickers, some of you may be cringing. I'll explain why. I purchased these a couple of years ago, like when they were first released. I was fangirling something majorly and I had to have all the HOLTZ stickers because I was going to use each and every one of them. The problem was I bought them without actually looking at them. I never use words this big. When I did buy them, I was doing quite a lot of art journaling and junk journaling, and that's kind of where my brain was going with it. But I really do not use these words this big in my day-to-day scrapbooking. So I decided, seeing as I said to my daughter, I have no words, that I would use nothing but words on her page. Now, I'm making all the words appropriate for the for the photos. I'm not just grabbing them and just sticking them down, although it does look that way. I'm really not. So I'm essentially creating should I tell you or should I make you wait until the very end? Nah, that's not my style. That's no fun. I'm creating kind of like a speech bubble. So it's a little quirky. Stick with me. So I'm using lots of words because I said I have no words. And I'm putting them in a speech bubble and she's in the middle of the speech bubble. That's where my brain went. Okay, so I'm letting you know that was my inspiration for this particular layout. There's no, I'm just using up old stock is what I'm doing with this. Well, the HOLTZ stuff's not old. You can still get that. Those, and they are really good. And I do have the other two. There is two other, well, I don't have the snarky ones. That's the only one I don't have. Although sometimes I would really like to use the snarky ones. there are 2 other books that I do have, and I specifically didn't use them on this because I wanted to use more individual words. I think I did use 2 where there was 2 words joined together because it made no sense just to have the one word. So, and I'm so OCD when it comes to having things straight, especially in a layout like this. If you want to do this, you could do this with, you don't have to do this just with black and white stickers. You could do this with all different colored phrase stickers. You could do this with stamps. You could pull out your, you might have half a dozen different word stamps, stamp them out onto some white cardstock or colored cardstock, create a rainbow brick effect, create a, what else could you do? You could use your watercolor brushes. You could create watercolor brush marks all over the background and create a speech bubble and then stamp your words on top of that. You could do something like that. I was running with the brick effect. That's what I had in my head. Each word was on a brick. Then that's what I was thinking. What else could you do? This particular page, I did toss up and toy with the idea of not actually creating a title for it because, again, the play on I have no words. So I was thinking about that, but I did end up giving it a title in the end. And I know I've sped this up a lot. This actually took me, I was in the zone doing this, and I do this quite often, probably 2 layouts a week, 2, maybe 3 a week. I just come into the craft room and it's so zen-like for me in here, and I can lose hours. Like, honestly, I am just in heaven when I'm in here creating. And you guys will probably notice it because if you message me on Facebook or whatever, if I don't happen to see my phone bing bong or vibrate, if I don't see that, then it might go a couple of hours before I respond back to you, which is really bad. But when I'm in the zone, I'm in the zone, and that's what I do. So, and I try and record these with as much minimal fluff as I possibly can, because my one thing that I like to do with you guys is I like to make sure that I don't edit the daylights out of my layouts, my videos. I don't like the chopped up, super refined and edited videos. I realize that there is definitely a market for that, a niche for that. I get that. I totally do. I just feel for myself, I don't want any of you to walk away from my page and go, she creates these things, but it's completely not, it's not practical, it's not doable. I can't do that. No, I want you guys to walk away empowered with the fact that you can do this. This is something super simple. It's just the way you put it together in the end. And that's why I leave it in there, because in our niche, so in scrapbooking, there is quite a lot of people that and I'm not saying anyone in particular, but what I'm saying is you walk away feeling like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to put my layout up on a Facebook forum or in a group. I'm not good enough. My work's not good enough. I'm not good enough. There's a lot of that. And let me stand on my soapbox for 1 minute. Just give me 1 minute. Nobody is perfect. Nobody as a mother is perfect. Nobody as a daughter is perfect. Nobody as a wife, a sister, an auntie, a mother, a mother-in-law, a stepmother, an auntie. I think I said that. None of us are perfect. Neither are our pages. No one was born to be the perfect scrapbooker. There's no such thing. So that is why I want to show you different things. Now, I'm going around these words with my Tim Holtz Distress watercolor pencils, and I'm using black. Does that scare you? It scared the daylights out of me, let me tell you. I wasn't too sure how this was going to go. But what I did is I sharpened the point, and I'm just literally going around each brick. That's what I'm doing in my head. Now, I have sharpened it, and I sharpened it twice, but I have got little containers that I keep the shavings in. So I can then add that pigment, because it's literally, it is so much pigment. It's not waxy, there's no wood, there's nothing. It's all pigment. So when I sharpen my watercolor pencils, I keep all those shavings because they're all usable. And once I go around there, then, okay, you're allowed to laugh at this bit. I give you permission to laugh at me. Ready? And go. Right. These water brushes, they do my head in. They're a great design. They're a great concept when they work properly. Okay. It's probably user error. It's probably the fact that I have not kept them clean. I'm a messy scrapper. I clean up at the end of every layout. But when it comes to my pencils, I gave up on those too. They're just, look, I can't blame the product. It's me. I know it's me. I'll call myself a slacko when it comes to how often have you left a paintbrush in a cup of water? I can guarantee you I've got 2 sitting in water at the moment, and they've been sitting in there for way too long. You're not supposed to do that with your brushes. I do. I'm slack like that. There's some things I'm super anal about, and I have to make sure I'm doing the right thing. The reason I'm tapping that with the paper towel is because this is a watercolor brush from Kmart, and would I recommend it? No. Because it gushes out. It doesn't drizzle. I'm not squeezing it. I'm not doing any sort of squeezy action. I'm literally just holding it and moving it across. And every so often, a big blob comes out. And it's like, one brush has no water coming out, and one brush has it just gushing out. So I came up with a solution, and I just dab it with some paper when a big splotch comes out. All I'm trying to do is create essentially the black mortar in between the bricks. That's what I'm doing with my watercolor pencil. And then what I did do after that, sorry, I need a drink. This is my second voiceover in a row, and now I'm dry. Sorry about that. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm just spreading a little bit of the pigment that's already there, and I'm just spreading it to create a little bit of a shadow sort of effect. And I did it a little bit, and I was very, very cautious to start with because I didn't want to destroy it. Now, you've got to also remember, this is another way you can use these brushes, okay? These watercolor pencils. See how I'm literally just tapping the end of the pencil with the brush, just lightly touching it. That's all I'm doing. And look at the pigment. I'm trying to get a super light smoky grey. I probably should have just grabbed one of my inks or maybe a lighter watercolor pencil, but it works. It turned out okay. I'm actually really happy with this layout. It was super, it's not difficult. It took me probably, sorry, excuse me. It took me about 3 hours to do this layout. And look at it, there's nothing to it. It really is nothing to it. It's because I was just in the zone, that's all it was. So I have created, now I didn't have an A, so I thought given that I have no words, we're just going to play with it. These are the thickers, the It's a Boy thickers, and I'm using the Kmart, the ANKO alcohol graphic markers, and I'm using the black one, and I'm just going over it. I'm just going over the white and blue lines. I'm just going over them, and that allows me to have a black title. Works perfectly. So it actually come together really, really well. Now, this is something I will also urge you to do. If you see a set of thickers, you know, like your cardboard thickers, and you are in a craft shop and you say to yourself, oh, they're only $2. Should I grab them? The answer is always yes. Why? Because you can go over them with an alcohol marker or a Sharpie if you like, if you've got those in your arsenal. If you don't have alcohol markers at all, go to Kmart. If you're an Aussie, I don't know if you have Kmart everywhere else, but if you're an Aussie, go to Kmart, pick up their cheap alcohol markers. They are so juicy. Like the amount of ink payoff that comes out of those things, bomb.com. If not, pick up a Sharpie or any permanent black marker and you've instantly just bought yourself a black set of thickers. And you can literally you can go over them. I haven't tried going over them. I think I've said this twice now. Haven't gone over them with Distress Oxides. I'm not sure if you would just rub off because they are glossy, but you know, give it a crack. So at this point I was looking and I'm thinking it needs a border. I can't not do a border. Now I said to you that I was going to do this with the tape. Now that is just a wet wipe, and I tried to wipe the ink so it wouldn't transfer, but it didn't work. As soon as I wet the mint tape, it just fell apart. And that's okay. I got 2 uses out of the strip, so I was totally fine with it. It actually stopped me for 5.5 seconds, and that's when I realized, why don't I use washi tape? Let's make this as cheap as we humanly possibly can. And let's use washi tape, and I'm just tearing the washi tape in half. I'm not trying to do it in one long strip, okay? Break it down, bite-sized pieces. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. That is what you do with this. You just tear it off a tiny bit at a time, and by the way, that's a saying that I think it was one of my kids' teachers said. I think it was one of them. Yeah, I think they said it was to my Aspie. And they said, don't think about the big picture. Think about the small picture. If you look at an elephant and think about eating an elephant, you literally can't do it. But if you think about it one bite at a time, you get there in the end. Super simple. So there's my teacher knowledge being passed on to you guys for the day. Now, I'm not a teacher, by the way. Now, I'm just going around this with my black and white polka dot washi tape, and I'm adding my border. I am gluing it down with my art glitter glue because it's washi tape and we know that it will never stay on there. So, and this tape is, it's umpty old. I have no idea how old it is. But I think that gives it a nice sort of torn effect. You could do this for boys or girls, by the way. You could do this for your husband. You could do this for your boyfriend. Totally works. Now, I did put these on here. These are, believe it or not, I'm giving these a try before I sell the idea to everybody. Pick these up on Amazon AU. These are diamantes that you put on when you get your nails done in a nail salon. And I wanted tiny sprinkly bits. Tiny bits. And I ended up buying these. Now, they were like, I think they were like $15 on Amazon. And they turned up literally the next day. And they are so good. This little tiny wax pencil is, again, the bomb.com. Did this page really need it? Probably not. When I stood back, I think it was actually finished before I did this, but you know what I'm like. Gotta have me blingy bits on there somewhere. So totally works. So that is just about it. So I just want to give you a quick shameless plug. If you've watched this video all the way through, I sincerely appreciate it. I am cruising at this point. I am excited, I'm happy, I'm exhilarated, I am all the feels big time. I'm just honestly blown away with the scrappy community that have come together and are enjoying my layouts. I do all my stuff myself. I don't follow sketches. I jump in a hop here and there, but I don't, actually, I tell a lie. I've been in 2 hops. In 20 years, I've done 2 hops. So this is my layout. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the thumbs up button if you liked it. Leave me a comment below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And I will chat to you soon, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.